elucidate and to explain to you what we have done 3 weeks ago. But God has been gracious to us. He said advancement is more like religion in action. We said that it is a presentation to a deity of some matured object, the possession of the offerer as an act of worship. We say it is an inseparable accompaniment to all religious exercises. And we said that nothing comes to your hands but on the premise, the platform of sacrifice. And we say advancement is progression in life. And we say advancement is the shifting of an individual from the confines of limitation. And we said that in this world, there's no way you can progress. There's no way there can be movement. There's no way there can be leaping forward until a sacrifice is initiated. And we look at those generals in the Bible that offered sacrifices that even after they are long dead and gone, generations after them, their sacrifice, speak volumes, and we are a beneficiary of their sacrifices. And we talk about the sacrifice of Abraham. We talk about the sacrifice of God himself, sacrificing his only son, that you and I can have redemption and can have freedom and salvation. We talk about a man called Misha in the Bible. How Misha sacrificed his only son that is supposed to rule after him, sacrificed him, and then the people that God was with them, the people that had Elisha with them, Elisha the prophet with them, the people that had God with them, because of a sacrifice, there was indignation among them, and then they have to retreat. And we talk about the fact that there's no way you can receive anything tangible but on the premise of sacrifice. We said that sacrifice is more potent than prophecy. We talk about the sacrifice of Solomon, the sacrifice of Elijah. Today, I want to take you to another dimension. Let's go to the book of Romans chapter 12, the verse number 1. The book of Romans chapter 12, the verse number 1. I'd like you to pay attention because this message is going to be a tremendous blessing for you. Romans chapter 12, verse 1. It said, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. I would like to read it from the New Translation Bible. It said, and so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to God. Let them be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind he will accept. The kind he will accept. And let me read it from the Message Bible so that you comprehend and appreciate it in another version. He said, Message Bible, Romans 12, verse 1. So here is what I want you to do. God helping you take your everyday, ordinary life, your sleeping, eating, going to work and walking around and place it before God as an offering. As an offering. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for him. As an offering, you're walking, you're sleeping as an offering to God. It was the Apostle Paul that wrote the book of Romans. And part of the many things he addressed, one of the things that is worthy of paying optimal attention to is the fact that he said something about reasonable services. Pay attention, reasonable service. That means in our services to God, there are certain things that complement it to make it as according to reason. Which also means that as we come before God, as we worship God, in our walk with God, there are certain key indices and factors that God considers to make our services to God reasonable. So according to the inscriptions of Paul to the people of Rome, every services that must be acceptable before God must have three factors. Now pay attention, this is very, very critical. As you worship God, as you come before God, as you render your services to God, there are three major things that God sees. And when he sees those three things in action, then indeed your service to him, your worship is complete and is reasonable. Apart from that, we are just wasting our time anytime we come to church. So what are the three things? Paul said, he said, I beseech you therefore, brethren. I beg you, brethren, that you present your bodies as a living sacrifice. So the number one thing that make a service and make our worship reasonable is that we present our body as a living sacrifice. So the number one thing that God looks at that makes our worship complete is that our bodies must be presented to him as a living sacrifice. And you must understand that God, there cannot be a sacrifice without a body element. If there must be a sacrifice, a body must be involved. Because spirit don't render sacrifice. It is bodies that render sacrifices to spirits. So he said, for your service, for you and I, our service, to be holistic and complete, reasonable before God, our bodies must be a living sacrifice. You must understand that God wants you to serve him when you are active. The totality of your body must be without exception dedicated, rendered to God as a sacrifice. God will never accept a dead sacrifice. You must understand and appreciate that most of the biblical stories you have heard in the Bible and the things that God have done with the great men in the Bible, God did it with them when they were very active. God wants an active vessel to use. God wants a youthful vessel to use. So when he comes to you, he looks at you, sees your body, and your body is alive, and your body is active, he will use you. Pay attention. Having the mentality and the notion that your body is a living sacrifice unto God, it pushes you to take care of your body. If you know that your body is a living sacrifice, you dedicate your body to God, you take care of your body, you nourish your body, because you know that it is a living sacrifice to God. Your body is a living sacrifice to God. Anything that has to do with God, you are for it. Because as long as you are alive, your body is a sacrifice to God. I want you to know that the right time to serve God is now. The fact that you are the custodian of your body. Let me put it this way. The first owner of your body is God. Hello? We must change some things when we want to marry. The things we recite when they are going to marry, we have to change them. Most of them are not biblical. My body is yours. My body is yours. A man who cannot take care of his body says, my body is yours as a woman. The first custodian of your body is God. You present your body as a living sacrifice. Your wife cannot own your body. As a matter of fact, your wife is the second custodian of your body. Your husband is the second custodian of your body. The first man that owns your body is God. He said, you present your body as a living sacrifice to God. Any man, fiancé, husband, wife that is preventing you from coming to church, from using your body to God, is denying you of advancement. Any man, any wife, any husband, any auntie that is preventing you from using your energy, your body to the services of God, is denying you of your advance, because it is God that owns your body. And for those of you who are not married yet, and already the man is controlling you. What time do you close at home? What time do you close at home? You have to come. He is not married to you yet. What time must you cook for me? You have to cook for me. What time must you cook for me? You are not married yet, and the man is denying you your body, your energy for working for God. When you marry, you will be a slave to him. The one that owns your body, the one that is supposed to own your body, is the living God. Because a man can be at your side. When death comes, death will grab you. The man cannot do anything. The one that owns your body is the one that has the capacity to take care of your body. Your body is a living sacrifice unto God. Unto God. Put your hand on your chest. Say, I'm a living sacrifice. Come on, say, I'm a living sacrifice. Say, my body, my energy, my money is for God. Take your seat. So, all my youth, look at me. All my youth, look at me. This is the right time for us to love God. Use our body for God. This is the right time for us to sweat for God. We don't live for ourselves. Our life is an offering. Our life is a gift to God. Am I talking to a youth at all? You present your body as a living offering, sacrifice to God. Today, as a youth, you are wasting your body. Smoking. Hey, today, the women are even smoking more than the men. Shisha. And I'll tell you, the shisha is flavor. I tell them, when you inhale the shisha, is it not smoke that come out? You are wasting your body. And when you are grown, who wants a grown thing? He said you must be alive, a living sacrifice. One man came here. He wasted his life. When he was about to die, he started coming to church. When he died too, he came to church. Now we will know your trick. If you waste your time, and then when you are past your living stage, and you are about to die, and you come to church, 3 months, then you die. And we will select 2 people to go there. When he died, we went there too. And the families want to brush on us. I said, bring me a shovel. Bring me a shovel. They brought me a shovel. I pick a son, bury him there. Away, I'm gone. The time you are alive, the time you are living, you are strong. That is the time you must offer it to God. You present your body as a living sacrifice. Your eyes are for God. Your hands are for God. Your voice is for God. Look at the old man. Look at the old boy. Look at the bishop. We went to Accra. Woke up at dawn. By 5:30 or 6, we were in Accra. When we finished, I left back to work. He also came back to the chapel to work at his age. Living sacrifice. If your life, your body is a living sacrifice, when you cough, heaven opens. But you have dedicated your body to something else. Alcohol have taken your body. Alcohol have taken your body. And now you have mixtures. Because the thing is not boozing them again. So they take Ejapia small. They take Ogidi small. They mix it. And when they mix it, then their body becomes pancake. But they shall have taken over the body. Say my life is a living sacrifice unto God. See, I've been preaching to you almost 1 month on sacrifice. If by the close of next week you don't render all your life to God as a sacrifice, I don't know what we will tell you again. It must be a life sacrifice. Because a time is coming. Somebody must hold you to sit down. A time is coming that they must package you into a car to bring you here. And now you have the strength. Use it for God. We must not be looking for youth. We must not be looking for youth to help in building the house of God. Hey, today I will tell you things. I'll tell you things. Live in sacrifice. By now, the general overseer must not be ironing his own clothes. By now, you can call it tuno. By now, I must not be ironing my own clothes. You say, I know you say that. But now, the general overseer must not be ironing his own clothes. I must not be ironing my own clothes. There must be people that will pick up the bedding. Living sacrifice. It must be alive unto God. Number 2. So when you come to God, the things that God sees to accept your service. Number 1, the sacrifice must be alive. Number 2, the sacrifice must be holy. Somebody shout holy. Anything presented to God as a sacrifice must be holy, must be without blemish, must be without pollution, and it must be without death. Holy means venerated as sacrifice. Holy means devoted entirely to a deity or the work of the deity. Holy means worthy of complete devotion as one perfect in goodness and in righteousness. Your body as a living sacrifice to God, it must not be polluted. Sometimes, just sometimes, the reason our sacrifices are not coming before God is that their bodies are polluted. So sometimes you offer your sacrifice. God is not only interested in your sacrifice alone, He is also interested in the body presenting the sacrifice. So sometimes the reason why our prayers delay is that the offerings, the sacrifices are coming from an unclean hands, bloody hands. God will not accept it. And you see, today we have accepted wrong for right and right for wrong. Everybody is biased. Try and go and give them outside. And you come and the pastor say, I will not dedicate the child. They will twist it and twist it. And they will say that it is the parent that have sinned. It is not the son that have sinned. It's not the child that have sinned. In Matthew 5:23-24. Matthew 5:23-24. This was the words of Jesus. Therefore, if thou pay attention. If thou bring thy gift to the altar, if you bring your gift to the altar, and whilst bringing your gift to the altar, you remember that you have something against your brother. The verse 24 says, leave there thy gift before the altar and go thy way, reconcile to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. If you are coming to sacrifice and you remember that you have something against your brother, go and first reconcile. Then you can come and render your sacrifice. I love it. He said, as for the offering, don't take it. Leave it here. Go and make an amendment. Reconcile. And then come in. The number of people who are not talking to each other in this church, it may be more than 50. I'll preach. Your heart is hard. And when I say direct prayer to your enemy, in the same church, everybody is throwing bullets at each other. Bullets at each other. Bullets in the same church. Because you mean him. And you see, the reason why we mean people to trivia, nonsense matter. You want to sit, under the fan. And usher say, oh, sit, let's sit here. Because of that, for 3 weeks now, you're not talking to the usher. Because of fan. Because of fan. And you are here. Kulem. If a pastor tries it, you the pastor, they will not even greet you. They will not talk to you. They will not even care about you. Because they will tell you, I'm in China, mommy poke be idiole. Papa be idiole. Your body is a sacrifice. It must be holy. Young girl, sugar daddy,
sugar papa.
As for the young man, one day I was preaching here and I was telling them that don't be using medicine. Don't be using medicine. Don't be using medicine. Somebody said, we will use it to we will use it to. They say we will use the medicine. We will show them. We will show them. The women, they are meant to collect. They'll be collecting and collecting and collecting. You are being stupid. Okay, let me know. In the church. One day, Daddy, I went to preach somewhere and I tagged him. I didn't know, but it's like my goose shifted small. And I was preaching. The people were watching my zip flap. They were watching my flap. What are these people? The young ladies, in the church, what are they looking at? So I tried and I went to the back. Yes. And I saw that no, the goose have shifted. In the church, they were looking at the thing. One day I went to preach somewhere. I forgot to zip it. So I was preaching. Everybody else was there. King. In Adan. Thank God it's in Adan. It's not in Accra. Everyone was there. King. So I did like this and I saw. As everybody stand to your feet. Say in the name of Jesus. Anyone that wants to bring me down, Holy Ghost fire, come and see. When they started praying, I moved and fixed things. So you see, even in the church, our mind is not pure. In the olden days, Moses said, if you sleep with a woman, you have committed a fornication or adultery. But when Jesus came, he introduced a higher level of holiness. He said, even if you should look at a woman with a lustful eyes, you have committed fornication. In the mind, you have committed the thing. You see, what makes the thing more deadly is that God is an inherent holy man of God. Holiness is part of the makeup of God. But as for you and I, the genes operating in us is already corrupted from the beginning. So it's an everyday exercise. Lord, help me. Help me in my work. It is not deliberating. Say, oh Lord. Come on, say, oh Lord. Help me to be a holy sacrifice to you. Come on, say, oh Lord. Help me to be a holy sacrifice unto you. And I can tell you it's not easy. I will tell you for a fact it's not easy. Temptation. Temptation. I can be honest to you. The women that have told me that God said brides, you are supposed to be my husband. And some of them are older than my grandmother. One person, his son is like me. So this one, you see, so when we come before God, first thing God consider that our sacrifice, our worship will be reasonable and acceptable. Will be reasonable. Number one, it must be a living sacrifice. Number two, it must be holy. Number three, that it is more dangerous. It must be acceptable. It must be acceptable. And this is where I will end. If you miss this part of the message, you have not come to church. Acceptable means something that is capable or worthy of being accepted. If you offer your sacrifice unto God before God, it must be worthy to be accepted. Our sacrifices to God must be acceptable before Him. Watch this. Sacrifice must be in a dimension that is worthy in the sight of God. Look at me. Look at everybody. Our giving perspectives, it differs from one individual to the another. The thing I'll give to just a friend is different from what I'll give to my father. Look at me. In giving, there are dimensions in giving. The thing I'll give to you is different from what I'll give to the general overseer. And what I'll give to the general overseer must be different from what I give to God. What I give to the general overseer, in his sight, it must not look like an insult. Pay attention. This is critical. In the sight of the general overseer, anything I give him, it must be acceptable in his sight. It must not look like an insult. Look at me. Anytime we present our sacrifice to God, ranging from either services, work, or money, or anything in the kingdom, it must come from a place that its quality, its quantity is not compromised. And there is something in Malachi chapter 1, verse 6 to 8 that I want us to look at. I'll read it from the screens for you. Malachi 1. Malachi 1, verse 6. Project it for me. Everybody, watch me. Malachi 1, 6. He said, a son honoreth his father, and a servant his master. Now, the natural order of things is that a son must honor the father. Now, if you don't get this place, you have missed today's service. So pay attention. Give me your undivided attention. In the natural order of things, a son must honor his father. Now, what is? And he said what? A son must honor his father, and a servant his master. A servant is also supposed to honor his master. So God was saying through the prophet Malachi, he said, if I am your father, and if I am your master, he said, where is my honor? Where is my honor? And he said, and if I be a master, where is my fear? So number one, he said, where is my honor? And where is my fear? And he said, saith the Lord of hosts unto you, all priests that despise my name, and ye say, wherein have we despised thy name? Go for it. Now he said, God was addressing the priest. Look at me. Now, the reason why he was addressing the priest was that it is not only the priest that give offering or sacrifice, but the people's sacrifice and the people's offerings. But how come God is addressing the priest and not also the people? God was addressing the priest because the priest was supposed to monitor the giving of the people. The priest is supposed to measure the quality and the quantity of the people's offerings and sacrifice. You see, Reverend, if we do not teach the people, God will not go to the people. God will address us. Go on. Oh, don't go. Go on. And he said, ye, he was addressing the priest, said, ye have offered polluted bread upon my altar. The thing is polluted. Polluted means it cannot be accepted. It's not accepted. Upon my altar. And ye say, wherein have we polluted it? In that ye say, the table of the Lord is contemptible or defiable. He said, ye have utterly polluted this on my altar. What are the polluted things? When you teach somebody, you get the money, put it on the altar. God consider it as pollution. When somebody's husband is giving you side chick money and is not giving to the wife, you take the money, put it on the altar. God see it as pollution. Most preachers will not tell you this. Anything you cheat to get, anything you lie to get, and sacrifice on the altar, God consider it as unacceptable and as polluted. People will come and give testimony. They'll come and give testimony. Pray. Praise the Lord. God has given me a new car. I've worked for it. I sweat for it. Oh, sister. Tell them the trip you went to Dubai and how dogs went and slept with you and how Arabs went and slept with you. And buy that car. Social media will put unnecessary pressure on you. Continue. And if ye offer the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil? In Leviticus 22:22, God gave the prescription. No, you don't go there. Don't go there. In Leviticus 22:22, God gave the prescription of the kind of sacrifice you must bring to God. The sacrifice you bring to God, maybe if it's a goat or calf or sheep, it must not be blind. It must be holistic. None of the body must not be wicked. It must be holistic. But these people, God's people, the Israelites, they brought blind goats and they gave it to God. Is it not evil? In your case, you are not bringing a blind goat. But you know that this thing you are giving to God is evil. You can do more. The question is that. Look at me. We don't give God the rest. We give God the best. So you don't wait until you are broke before you give to God. Give God the best. Is it not evil? The people brought blind. They brought the blind. Is it not evil? And if you offer the lame and the sick, is it not evil? I remember those times. And they say, go and kill it. So people wait. The leftover of offerings and money. Then they'll bring it to God. They'll put the best of the CD notes in their wallet for show off. The show off, for show off. Especially the guys. They'll put it, they'll arrange it well in their wallet for show off. And they'll pick anything to God. Is it acceptable? Anytime you give God the rest and not the best, it cannot be accepted. The lame, continue. Continue. The lame, continue. Offer it now unto the governor. He said, what you are giving to me as God, Alpha is to your politicians, whether they will take it. Can I talk to you? The thing you are giving to God, your offerings, your services, your work in the house of God, can you do that in the sight of a government? The church is not a place that we accept everything. In terms of offering, no. We must be intentional in our offerings. Excuse my language. President Akufo-Addo cannot come here and you will squeeze something into. Last week I was walking after church. Somebody want to give me something and squeeze the money into my hands. Can you give that to your governor? That is what God is saying. Put it there. He said, offer it now unto that governor. Will he be pleased with thee? Anything that will not be pleased in the sight of a politician, a governor, it definitely will not be pleased in the sight of God. I'm talking to Revival International Ministry. I know you don't have it, but give God the best. Give your energy in the best form. Give your money in the best form. We are looking for cement. We are looking for iron rods. We are looking for sand. We are looking for stones. We are looking for men to work with. We must money. We must give God the best. Look at me. Look at me. If President Akufo-Addo will tell you that I'm coming here, oh, next week, I wanted to prepare the place, station for me. Come and see youths. Come and see youths. But tell these same youths, we have a convention. We have work. We have model for impact. They won't come. Alas, the place is quiet. Alas, we are living in the days that we put premium on government more than the government of God. The pastor, you will preach and preach and preach. The politician cannot save you. The government cannot save you. God gave us to you as your shepherds. You must give God the best. Go there. So, God was saying, the thing you are giving to me, you are dishonoring me. Because a son must honor the father, and a servant his master. So he said, the things you are giving to me, you are don't sleep, don't sleep, don't sleep, don't sleep, don't sleep. Wave your hands to me. He said, you are dishonoring me. If you look at our offerings, today we'll do some exercise. We will show you your own offerings and check that if we should give this to God. That's what I'm teaching you. Some people will make a reckless comment that if God will raise stones, if God should raise stones to build his church, he will raise it. Put it there. I like the way you are quiet. I'm about to close. Will he be pleased with thee? Or accept thy person? How you are? The way you are using your body. Will God accept it? Say you have the Lord. Stand to feet. Look at me, child of God. So when we come before God, our sacrifice, it must be a living sacrifice. Number 2, it must be holy. Number 3, it must be acceptable. But you see, people, look at me, people. There is a generation coming in. Look at me. There is a generation coming in that they'll be zealous for God. I call them the underground generation. Anytime the people that ought to work for God, they are drawing back. Anytime the people that ought to serve God, that ought to worship God, they are drawing back. God will raise the underground generation